Downloading.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? This is Phoenix, and I would just like to go over with you guys my personal wish list for No Man's Sky's Frontier update coming soon. So, the first thing I was thinking of when I heard about the update, now this is just my wish list, it's not anything that has been hinted at, but one thing I would like to see is the ability to possibly bring in just more than just one freighter. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have come into the systems, just as you can see here, and you'll see where multiple freighters will warp in under the same fleet. And I just thought that would have been something that would be really cool for the developers to add, to be able to give us maybe, an extra one or two extra freighters for us to be able to utilize. Now, many of you guys might be thinking that maybe having more than one freighter would be too much. And I kind of would agree, but for me, whenever I jump into a new system and I see multiple freighters warping in together, there's just something that's satisfying about that. Versus where when you call in your freighter, it's just that one big freighter and then, however many of the small frigates you have. And I just think it would be a lot cooler of a look if you can just warp into a system and then call in all your support freighters in with you at the same time. Not to mention, it would also give you a little bit more diversity in your fleet if, say, you want to get a Sentinel Dreadnought, and then you also want to get the Venator class freighters as well. That way you get a chance to actually kind of mix and match and find something that fits perfectly with your style. Also, one thing I believe that we really need desperately, aside from just having maybe multiple freighters, is a lot more customization options. Now, when I say customization options, I know many of you are going to be like, starships. Yes, that's what many people have asked for. That's what many people are hoping that we'll have, if not this update, maybe a future update. But I know for me personally, I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I know I'm not the last person that's going to ask for this, but Hello Game, Sean Murray, if you can please add in starship customization. I would love to be able to go into a star system, find a ship that I love, and at the very least have the ability to change the colors of it. Because I have found a few starships throughout many different galaxies that I really love. I just don't like the overall color scheme. Sometimes the colors seem a little bit, offset from each other, or maybe even just the fact that for me, I like the whole blue and white color scheme. So I would like to be able to have all my starships have that very same blue and white color scheme. So please, you guys, many of your fans will love it if you add this in for us as soon as possible. Now, everybody, please let me know down in the comments how you feel about this particular request. But me personally, I would like to see the addition of adding more crewmates to our freighters and also to our bases down on our planets. Every time I go to a base, every time I go to my freighter, despite how big we can build our bases, build up our freighters, they always feel empty. Other than the specialists that you can place in, different locations throughout, it always feels like other than them, there's no one else really. It's like we have a few crewmates that hang around the command deck, and that's basically it. There's no one else really walking around your freighters. There's no one really walking around your bases, unless if by chance, a lot of players go there. So at the end of the day, despite how you build up your base exactly the way you want it, at the end of the day, it kind of feels empty, at least for me. And I'm just thinking that it would be great to actually have it to where, so like the storage rooms that we have right here, it'd be nice to actually maybe have a specialist that will walk in between all of the storage rooms that I have set up, and they'll be kind of just managing my inventory. Maybe when I run out of space on my starship when I'm exploring, it will automatically get transferred into my storage containers if I have space. Or maybe I can even go and I can build up, like I just passed my gravitino ball farm. Maybe it would be nice if the agricultural specialists that we have will go and tend to those. All right. And then another reason why I'm asking is because when you make these fleet command rooms right here, they have these beds in them that you can't access and nobody else accesses them. So why do they even have them? Why not just have it to where you go back to the crew member that gives you the expeditions for your frigates, and he just will tell you like, okay, this one is done, and everything that the fleet command room does. It seems like they have a big opportunity to actually add in more crew members so they can do different tasks like that for you. That way you actually are talking to a live body and not just some empty hologram. Also for me, I'm trying to make this particular room kind of like a medical station. So I think it'd be kind of nice to have like, a medical specialist to take care of that stuff for me. So please give us the option for more crew members. All right, guys, let's talk Prism's update. Now, I'm not 100% on this, so please correct me down in the comments below if I'm wrong. But that new flight path that they are talking about for the AI on the space stations, I believe was added onto Prisms. A lot of people have speculated that it might have something to do with you being able to call in starships when you're on the space station instead of waiting for them to appear, which can take possibly hours. Maybe you can call them in, whether or not it would be a random system, or you can actually pick which ship you want to call in. I was thinking, what if instead of just being able to call in the starships, what if you could actually move that space station to a different part of the system? We already have the mechanic where we can come into the star system for the first time, change the name of the system. We already have it to where if we're the first ones on the planet, we can name the planet, we can name the fauna, name the flora, name the minerals. We can do all this stuff. But what if you're the first one on the space station, you're actually able to go and you can change the name of that space station. So instead of it just saying space station, you can give it something a little bit more of a unique name, as well as, because it does say flight path override. When you go up to that console on the station, you can actually change, because as you see, it's got a thruster on the bottom of this particular space station. So I think it'd be cool if I can maybe have that space station fly over and orbit a particular planet that, I would like to build a large base on. It's like we see all these different starships flying around, and everybody believes that you can call those starships in once they fully activate that console for us. But for me personally, I think it'd be kind of cool to actually just be able to move the starship around. Let us take ownership of that space station. It's something I think a lot of us would actually love to be able to do. And then as far as when I was talking about the customization options earlier for the different starships and the freighters and whatnot, I think it'd be cool if when you get to a space station and you're the first person there, you would actually be able to go and change the color of it as well. So that's just a little bit more food for thought. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so here's another item on my list. I was real disappointed when I came across my very first freighter rescue, and the battle was over fairly quickly. I believe the first time I ever rescued a freighter, not actually what you see here, But the first time I ever rescued a freighter, it was actually only two pirate ships. I'm not sure if maybe when I was fighting those ships, if the freighter took out the other ones, or if it really was only two. But I'm sure some of you have probably also felt that the freighter battles, they're really small. You know, you take out a small number of ships, and depending on how good of a fighter you have, it's over pretty quickly. So I would personally love to see, bigger battles, and maybe not even just freighter rescue. Maybe have it to where every now and then a pirate freighter will come into the system and maybe attack you, instead of it being where just a random hostile scan will produce a few pirate starships. Maybe if you go into a system where it's a high level of conflict, a tier 3 level of conflict, maybe you'll have different classes of freighters coming in and attacking you. I believe that would also be something that would be great to add. All right, the last thing on my wish list. I actually have more ideas. I will probably make a separate video for each idea. So if you guys want to hear about each individual thing that I want, I'm going to make individual videos because I know this one might be a little bit long for some people. If you've stuck with me this far, I really do appreciate it. But one issue I have here, going back into the whole customizing your freighters and your fleets and everything, I finally found an S-Class freighter that I wanted that allowed me to customize the entirety of all the color. What I mean by that is one of the freighters that I had before, it only let me customize for the Venator class, it only let me customize the middle stripe. I could not customize it on the outside colors. So as you see here, there's like that red and green. I actually had it on a previous freighter where it was like a white stripe with this black and greenish chrome paint job on the outside, and I cannot change that. I'm not sure if that was an intentional add-on or if maybe it's just a glitch to where, because everything's procedurally generated, some stuff it just doesn't allow you to customize it due to that. But it's like I would love to see a little bit more of a fix towards that, as well as also having the option to expand your freighter. And what I mean by that is, what if instead of having to hunt down for a C class, what if everybody, when you get your freighter for the first time, when you're finding it for the first time, it's always a small C class freighter. And over time, like I talked about how it would be nice to recruit different crew members and have more people walking around your freighter. What if as you recruit more people and everything, and you have more jobs for them to do, you get upgrades on your freighter, to help you accommodate for that bigger crew, and as you get a bigger ship, it also goes up in rank, so it goes from the C class to the B class to the A class, and then finally S class, and that would mean, so for anybody who knows how you can get 3 different tiers for the Venator class. It's like you have like that first tier that's like really small and it's kind of stubby looking. It looks a little bit off. I know some people like that. Then you have the second tier, which, it's slightly bigger, a little bit more comfortable. But for some people, it's still kind of stubby. And then finally you get that huge tier 3 class where it's massive. I think it would be cool if you can actually go and expand it, or maybe if you want, instead of it having it to where it expands with your crew, maybe you just get the option to make it smaller if that's what you want. It'd just be nice to have more options as far as that's concerned. But for anybody who is stuck with me this long through the video, I really appreciate it. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Tell me what you guys wish for. I will be making more likely individual videos to go over everything that I want in more detail, but individually. Thank you and be well on your travels.
Extraction complete. Uploading.